स्वागत है दोस्तों आप सबका एफ टी जी टीवी पर। आज के इस वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं टॉप 10 साईफाई मूवीज ऑफ ऑल टाइम। तो चलिए दोस्तों शुरू करते हैं।
Find your way back home.
In number 10, we have Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer may be something of an unknown quantity. It was released in the year 2013, combined with its small release overall. May make this one a film you haven't even heard of, but you should change that soon. Korean director Bong Joon-ho's English language debut sees Chris Evans as a passenger on a train in a future world that has been taken over by ice. Only those on a constantly moving train survive, and quality of life is dictated by your position on the train. Those in the back start a revolt that takes them forward on the massive train. Whether you are looking for great action sequences or an examination of society, you will get both with Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer is ours!
Don't you pass through that door.
And while we are discussing time travel, let's talk about what is probably the most popular time travel movie ever made. Even more rare than the science fiction drama is the science fiction comedy. Yet, Back to the Future does it perfectly. Yes, in number 9 we have Back to the Future. It's true that the science fiction mechanic of the film exists only to give a reason to have 1980s Marty McFly experience the world of 1955. Yet, the movie deals with many of your standard time travel tropes, including accidentally changing the past to negate the future, the bootstrap paradox, not to mention the possibility of accidentally becoming your own father, which is funny and also gross.
Where it gets heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Back to the Future.
Tom Cruise is almost always an actor who is good for making a fun time at the movies. However, the criminally underrated Edge of Tomorrow is so much more than that. Yes, in number 8 we have Edge of Tomorrow. The story follows Cruise's character, a military officer who has never seen combat before, but is now forced to the front lines, as he accidentally gets exposed to alien technology and discovers that the reason the aliens are winning the war is because they have the ability to travel back and repeat time and learn from their mistakes. Once he gains the same ability, we get to see him use it to learn how to fight and try to win. Also, you get to watch Tom Cruise get blown up a lot.
How many times have we been here?
What are you not telling me?
One of the best science fiction films ever made deals with elements of artificial intelligence, love between artificial beings, and the destruction of human habitat. Also, it is an animated Pixar movie. Yes, in number 7 we have Wall-E. Pixar has a near perfect record when it comes to creating good movies. However, Wall-E may be in a class by itself. It is a film so good that the movie doesn't even require dialogue for half its runtime. It is by far the best animated science fiction movie ever made, and Wall-E will be one of our favorite sci-fi characters forever. Wall-E and Eve have one of the great cinematic romances of all time.
Arrest that robot.
10 seconds to self-destruct. You are now free to move around the cabin.
Mr. Trim. You look gorgeous.
No list of science fiction films could possibly complete without the movie that created one of the biggest action heroes of all time. In number 6 we have The Terminator. The Terminator introduced Arnold Schwarzenegger as an unstoppable killing machine, and for a guy that looked like he did, audiences bought it. While the movie doesn't have the flashy special effects of future sequels, that's part of why this movie still stands up. It's a desperate fight against an unstoppable force. It is not supposed to be pretty, while most of the movies that followed never held up. The reason they even tried is because the original was so good.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator.
The question of whether or not we are alone in the universe is a consistent theme in science fiction films. The answering of that question was the subject of one of the great classics of the genre, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Today, the words Klaatu Barda Nikto still survive in pop culture, which shows just what an impact the movie had. One wonders how many people even know that this is where the phrase comes from. So often when we do meet aliens in movies, they are hostile invaders. But even back in 1951, a movie wondered if it was possible that we were the aggressive ones. In space, no one can hear you scream. With that simple phrase, we were introduced to some of the most terrifying alien creatures that have ever been created. Luckily, we were also introduced to one of the most badass heroes that science fiction or any genre has ever seen. Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley broke the mold when it came to genre heroines, and she's still one of the greatest ever created. Alien was as good a science fiction film as it was a horror movie, and the two are inextricably intertwined with each other. It is absolutely one of the best science fiction movies ever made. A team of explorers travel through a wormhole in space in an attempt to ensure humanity's survival. Yes, in number 3 we have Interstellar. Earth's future has been riddled by disasters, famines, and droughts. There is only one way to ensure mankind's survival: interstellar travel. A newly discovered wormhole in the far reaches of our solar system allows a team of astronauts to go where no man has gone before, a planet that may have the right environment to sustain human life.
We must confront the reality that nothing in our solar system can help us.
I'm coming back.
In number 2 we have Inception. While director Christopher Nolan did a lot of good to bring credibility to the comic book genre with his Dark Knight trilogy, it was a film he made in between those movies that was truly revolutionary. In many ways, the setup was that of a simple heist. However, the trick was that the information our team needed to steal was inside somebody's head, leading them to use technology that allowed them to enter dreams of unsuspecting victims. Inception has many of the hallmarks of the best science fiction. It creates a fictional world with specific rules that the story must abide by, making the situation feel more real than it could ever be. This, combined with some stunning visual set pieces, captured practically rather than digitally, makes Inception a worthy entry to this list.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
I'd hate to see out of control.
Before going to number 1, we have a special mention. The Matrix. The best movies are the ones that turn out to be great when you had no idea what to expect. The Matrix surprised pretty much everybody when it was released in 1999. Its cutting-edge use of bullet time cameras and waifu martial arts combined with a cyberpunk aesthetic was quite simply a combination that nobody had ever seen before. Add a solid story with a healthy dose of philosophical discussion on the nature of reality, and the result is so popular that the universe is still being mined for stories to this day. We can only hope that any future Matrix films take after the original and not any of the sequels.
No one has ever done anything like this.
That's why it's going to work.
Mr. Anders.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
In number 1, we have 2001: A Space Odyssey. Every movie on this list is a great one, but all of them owe something to Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. The movie really has everything you could possibly want. It's got impressive outer space scenes, it's got drama that borders on horror thanks to a slightly deranged computer, then it's got completely off-the-wall imagery and symbolism from Stanley Kubrick's that still has people talking and asking questions to this day. After all these years, we still can't stop thinking about 2001, which is why it's still the best science fiction movie ever made.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
शुक्रिया दोस्तों आप सबका ये वीडियो देखने के लिए। अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो प्लीज़ इसे लाइक कीजिए और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। थैंक यू गाइस।